Unfortunately, it is all over already without turning a wheel, as what is normally a warm and dry Las Vegas has been a cold and wet one today. And so the season finale for the USAC midget cars and Western sprint cars has been canceled. Hi, everyone. I'm Bob Jenkins along with Larry Rice, and that means that both of those championships that were up for grabs have been decided because of the cancellation here tonight. It also means that we're all disappointed because a driver who got his roots in the United States Auto Club had come back here to challenge everyone tonight.
He flew all night to come back here and run a midget and a sprint car. He's a racer's racer. He'll run anything, any place, anytime, and we were sure looking forward to seeing it tonight. And
that, of course, is Tony Stewart. A little bit earlier, before the rains came down, the third member of our broadcast team, Ray Dunlap, had a chance to talk with him.
While most of the Winston Cup drivers are headed for the Bahamas, Tony Stewart decided to come to Las Vegas, and that's because there's more racing to be done this year. And here you are ready to do some USAC racing. What are we going to see tonight?
I thought it was going to be warmer than this, so I thought I wouldn't have to bring my jacket. But, I think it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. I'm driving for Steve Lewis, who I won the championship in '95 for, and I've won my last 3 midget races with him. So it's obviously really good equipment, but I have 3 really good teammates also to run with. But the sprint car side is going to be a little different. I haven't been in a pavement sprint car for a long time, so it's going to be a little bit of a refresher course. But I'm driving with Larry Triguero, who I used to run the super modified for at the Copper Classic. So, everybody I'm running with are people that I'm familiar with, and they've done a really neat job with this racetrack. I think it'll have multiple grooves by the end of the night. It's got a lot of grip in it, so it ought to be a lot of fun.
Compare this kind of racing to Winston Cup. I know it's completely different, but how is it to drive?
Well, these cars, you don't run them, even though it's pavement, you want to run as straight as possible. You're not going to run every lap straight as a rail. It just doesn't happen. But, the Winston Cup cars, you're a little more relaxed in them, and, I'll be more wore out after a 30-lap midget race here than I will be after running Martinsville for 500 laps, and that's just because these cars are so light and so lightweight and so nimble that you're really up on top of the wheel all the time, and the midgets have a lot of horsepower. The sprint cars are almost 800 horsepower now over there. So you got a lot of motor with a really lightweight race car, and it keeps you on your toes around here.
A lot of the positive things in Winston Cup this year, including second in the points. Take a look back and tell us about your season.
Pretty weird, I think. It's been like a bad episode of the Twilight Zone, in my opinion. It's a lot of good things have happened, but there's been a lot of bad things, and losing Dale was obviously the worst point of the year for all of us. But in my opinion, we had a terrible season and still ended up second. So kind of amazed me that we ended up where we did with as bad of a year as I felt like that we really had.
This is the last USAC race of the year. What are you going to do till February?
I told Krista she can book any vacation she wants to. So she wants to go somewhere warm for a couple days and go somewhere where we can ski for a couple days. So the guy that's never taken a true vacation in my life, everywhere that we went on vacation has had a racetrack involved in it. So I'm honestly going to try to act like a normal human being and go somewhere that doesn't have anything to do with race cars or racetracks.
Okay, good luck tonight.
And again, that was earlier today before the rains came and essentially flooded the bull ring here at Las Vegas and canceled tonight's racing program. Now, even though Tony Stewart has gained most of his fame in NASCAR, his racing roots are right here in the United States Auto Club. Tony came onto the USAC scene in 1991 as an eager 20-year-old.
Still side by side into turn 4, ever so close. The car a bit loose right there, and look at
where did he come from? He was 3 wide, go down to the flat spot of the racetrack, and went around both of them. Unbelievable.
Look at this, is he going to make the move? Getting it by. Dave Love coming off the second corner down the back stretch, and Stewart has it. Now Stewart flies high and almost spins out.
Even though he's a 2-time national midget champion, Stewart got his USAC start in sprint cars, driving the number 25 for Steve Chrisman. If there was ever any doubt about his commitment, it was put to rest following this heat race crash at Salem, Indiana.
I really didn't know that I was over the fence yet. I knew I was going up, and when I started hitting the trees, I knew I was in trouble. That's what scared me the worst, was worrying about a tree limb getting in and getting upside my head or something.
Few remember that following that crash, Tony found another car to drive and competed in the feature. That on-the-gas attitude has held him in good stead. And in 1995, Tony became the first person in USAC history to win the midget car, sprint, and Silver Bullet Series crown title in the same year.
Okay.
By Dave Smith on pavement and Phil Poore on dirt was hoping he could net his second career sprint car championship. Early on, things were looking good. Even though he scored only one win, Dave led the points for the majority of the season on the strength of 16 top 5 and 23 top 10 finishes. His main competition came in the form of Jay Drake, last year's sprint car runner-up. Jay won twice on the dirt, driving for Keith Kunz and Pete Willoughby. And the battle for the sprint car title looked like it was going to be fought out between Drake and Darlin. However, neither driver was able to finish out the season due to injuries. That opened the door for J.J. Yaley, who was in the process of quietly having a pretty darn good season of his own, with 3 wins, 13 top 5, and 21 top 10 finishes in 30 starts in his ABC Sand and Rock machine. It came down to the final race of the season at Salem, and he showed he had both the strength and endurance needed to claim his first ever USAC Sprint Car Championship.
Well, the Sprint Car Championship came down to the very final race of the year at Salem, Indiana, and the champion is J.J. Yaley. Congratulations on a great year.
Thank you very much. You know, it was a real tough season we had this year with the GT Racing ABC Sand Rock team. You know, just happy that the season finally got over. You know, we had a really great season. You know, we won some races, ran up front all the time, and towards the end of the season, we ran into some bad luck, and you know, Dave Darlin had some misfortune at Eldora, and it really helped us out just in the point side of it. And me and Jay Drake were in a real tight point battle at the end of the year, and unfortunately he got injured at Terre Haute. And you know, we kind of inherited the point thing a little bit, but you know, we really worked hard this season, and we just kept ourselves in the position to be there at the end.
Now, you run in all the divisions, though. Do you focus on just sprint cars, or do you try to win in all 3?
No, absolutely. You know, every time we go racing, it's to go out and win. And you know, this season I've changed 3 different owners in the Silver Crown division, and ending up with Gary Zeronian in the Team ASE Silver Crown car, and we ended up 4th in points. And then, you know, it's just a feather in my cap to win the sprint car title. And you know, right now with the midget program, I didn't get to run all the races this season, but to still finish top 3 in points is a really good thing for me and the Ford team.
Okay, there is a lot of volatility in this form of racing. There's no doubt about it. A lot of changes. So what's up with you next year? Where are we going to see you, and are you going to chase all 3 divisions again?
Well, absolutely. You know, right now the plan is, you know, everything is going to stay the same. I'm going to stay with the Steve Lewis team and the Ford Team ASE car. You know, right now the sprint car program, we're going to change a couple of things, and we're going to stay with the Twister chassis and the ABC Sand Rock team. And you know, everything's going to be really good next year. I think we actually have a really good shot at trying to win all 3 titles in the same year.
Okay, Darlin put his name on a pretty illustrious list. Can you do it?
I sure hope so. You know, there's only 3 guys that have done it so far, and Dave, Poncho, and Tony Stewart. So it'd be a real good list to be on.
Okay, he won the 2001 Sprint Car Championship. Who knows about next year?
So USAC's 3 national champions are Paul White in the Coors Light Silver Bullet Division, J.J. Yaley in the Stoops Freightliner Sprint Car Series, and the WorldCom Midget title went to Dave Darlin. When we come back, we'll show you how White won his title and take a look at USAC's Western Series. Sunday, December 15th at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, check out the latest edition of Thrills and Spills as we look back on some of the bone-jarring incidents of 2001. Courtesy of CarQuest Auto Parts. For your nearest CarQuest Auto Parts store, dial 1-800-492-PART. And we would also like to thank Dave Stetzer and Bob Miller and everyone else here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for their hospitality. Unfortunately, it rained, and the final show was canceled. Well, the only division in the United States Auto Club we have not shown you highlights of is the USAC Coors Light Silver Bullet Division. Little did we know that the very first race of the year in Phoenix, Arizona would set the stage for the rest of the year. The 2001 schedule kicked off at Phoenix International Raceway and featured a tremendous duel between 1999 Silver Bullet Rookie of the Year, Paul White, and the defending series champ, Tracy Hines.
Now Hines moves to the... Oh, they touch! And Hines is hard into the wall here in the front stretch. And down the straightaway to the checkered flag, Paul White wins his first ever victory in the USAC Coors Light Silver Bullet Division. A great win by Paul.
All right, shake hands and come out fighting.
Tracy Hines and Paul White will occupy the front row in the Coca-Cola 100. Both Kane and Hines are setting their sights on Paul White. Even though the Temple, Texas native wouldn't win this one, he would go on to be victorious 2 more times, both on historic Illinois miles at Springfield and then on Labor Day weekend at DuQuoin, following this last lap pass on 97 Series champ Dave Darlin. All White is your 2001 USAC Coors Light Silver Bullet champion. Although White started off the season with a win, Russ Gamester won the second and third races. He and Paul swapped the lead until August, but Russ's poor performance at Gateway gave White the points lead that he would never relinquish. Finishing third was Dave Steele, followed by J.J. Yaley and Jerry Coons Jr. And with all due respect to Paul White, Larry, I think if there was a surprise this year as far as a champion is concerned, it was Paul White.
Absolutely. At Phoenix, nobody expected him to run in the top 10, let alone win the race right out of the box because he was a dirt guy. But he came back and was very strong all year long.
With the rain out here in Vegas, the USAC Western Sprint and Midget Car titles were actually decided on Thanksgiving evening in Irwindale, California. The Sprint title came down to a two-man battle. One driver was hoping for his second USAC championship. Number 51 is driven by Jeff Gardner, the 1998 USAC Western Sprint Car champion. The 30-year-old from Fresno, California had 2 wins at Boise, Idaho, and Carson City, Nevada, along with 2 seconds and 3 thirds in 17 starts. The third generation of a famous racing family, Tony Hunt was his chief nemesis. His father, Tommy, now heads the USAC Western racing divisions, and his grandfather, Joe, sponsored cars at Indy for many years. Here's Tony sitting in one of the old Joe Hunt Magneto specials. This year, Tony did the family proud as he added the USAC Western Sprint Car title to a resume that already included a 1992 Russell Pro Series championship, as well as 1998 Western Sprint Car Co-Rookie of the Year.
Well, at the close of the season here, there's been kind of a championship chase within the championship chase, and we're talking to the Western Sprint Car champion. That'd be Tony Hunt. Congratulations. A great year, but, you know, you capped it off with an incredible victory at Turkey Night. That had to have been a great way to end the season.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, this whole year has really been good for us. Mid-season, we faltered a little bit, but we knew we needed to come on strong towards the end of the year, and to do what we did in the last few weeks and run as strong as we have has really been sort of a nice tip on the feather towards the end of the year. So we're excited about it. My first year with Bob and Lori Scott, SRS Racing, and with Justice Brothers coming along on our program this year, it's been a lot of fun, and it's real gratifying, especially to have a championship season and the first for SRS Racing.
You know, it's kind of neat to look through your record when, 98 Rookie of the Year, then you were 5th in points, then 2nd, and then a great year here. So what's next for Tony Hunt?
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously I'd like to move east and try to run a full season in the USAC Silver Crown Series and maybe some of the Sprint Car Series stuff out there too. But you never can tell. I mean, I'm trying to pursue maybe a stock car opportunity too. So that's something that I want to prioritize too over the winter time, and hopefully that will materialize into an opportunity there.
Okay, great year for Tony Hunt, the 2001 champion.
And so now the name Hunt is listed among the USAC champions.
Yes, and that name has a long history in this sport. Joe Hunt actually gave Gary Bentonhausen his rookie test at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They've been around a long time.
Well, this rain was bad news for Jeff Gardner. He needed to race here tonight. Let's go down to Ray Dunlap.
Well, it was a great battle in Western Sprints, came right down to the end of the year, and a big disappointment for Jeff Gardner as you came to Las Vegas and you saw the rain coming. Has to just kill you.
Yeah, it does. But we've been in the reverse role of this, too. In 98, we won the championship, and it came down to something like an 11-point margin. And the last race in Vegas got rained out. So we know what it's like to be on both sides of the fence now. And it's the way it happens. It's not the way to end a year, but it's still a good year. We had a lot of fun, won some races, and battled this championship thing the whole year. And on one side, it's kind of nice that it's over, all the pressure's gone, and we can move on.
Okay, so Jeff Gardner finishes 2nd. The champion, Tony Hunt.
All right, thank you, Ray. Well, by the same token, the midget car title was down to 2 drivers also. You recall at Irwindale in Turkey Night, Alex Harris was eliminated from the championship, and so it was down to Eberts and Wise. And because of tonight's cancellation, we now know the champion. Ray?
Well, a year ago in Western State Midgets, Danny Eberts was 3rd in the points, but this year he really improved with 3 victories, and you put yourself in position to win a championship. It's really been a great year.
Yeah, it really has been a great year. We won 3 races this year, our first 3 wins. Had a great car, Systex, Edmunds Auto Research car, Lucas Oil Products. Really worked good. We got our first 3 wins, like I said, and got to win the championship this year. It came down kind of close at the end of the year, but we were able to get it. So.
What about next year?
Next year I plan to go back to Indianapolis and try to run the National Midget Series. Hopefully pick up maybe something in a sprint car or something along that line.
Is there a lot of difference from running on the West Coast to running back east?
Well, all the strong runners. I mean, there's good runners out here, but the top guys are out in Indianapolis. So that's been my goal to move back there, and now we got the championship under our belt. I think it's a good time to go.
How about that, an open wheel guy wanting to get back to Indianapolis, Bob?
And so that is going to wrap it up for Thunder 2001 here on ESPN2. Our telecasts have taken us from Nazareth, Pennsylvania to Irwindale, California, many points in between, dirt tracks, paved tracks. Once again, it's been a lot of fun.
Yes, and USAC drivers are the most versatile drivers in America. They run in 3 different divisions, midget, sprints, and dirt cars. They run on everything from a quarter-mile dirt to a 1 1/3 pavement. So if they can win in this division, if they can win in the 70-race series like this, then they can win anywhere. Gordon, Stewart, Andretti, Schrader, they've all proved that.
We saw many different winners on Thunder this year. It seems like, however, there are some drivers that just do particularly well during television races.
Well, that's right. Dave Steele did really well on the pavement, so did Tracy Hines.
Thanks for joining us here on Thunder this year. We're going to leave you with a look back on the 2001 USAC season. From Las Vegas, Nevada, for Ray Dunlap and Larry Rice, I'm Bob Jenkins. So long, everyone. Coming up on John Turbo to put a lap on him.
He's spinning the race car.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, look at McCord. McCord spins. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.